On Monday, the City of T approved a tax increment finance or TIF district just south of 85th Street and west of I-29. There are some residents in Harrisburg who are now worried about that this may have some unintended consequences. Parker Brown has that story at 6:30.
While this TIF district area sits within the city limits of T, it also is exclusively part of the Harrisburg School District. It has the Harrisburg School District as well as Lincoln County administration worried that it could divert funds.
On Monday, the city held a public hearing with their planning commission to establish this new tax increment finance district within the Baker Landing addition. Public record of the hearing shows that both Lincoln County elected officials and the Harrisburg School Board were present to voice their opposition to the TIF district. In a letter to the T Planning Commission before the meeting, members of the school board said, quote, rushing through the approval of TIF district boundaries without a clear TIF plan and time to properly vet the merits of a proposed TIF undermines the principles of transparency and public participation. They then called for the hearing to be delayed. Both the school district and Lincoln County have indicated that they are relying on funds from the property taxes in the TIF district. T City Administrator Justin Weiland says that they understand these concerns.
We're running into kind of these cross-boundary lines between two different school districts, so that inherently creates a sort of a conflict. We have a willingness to work with, communicate with all the jurisdictions that are affected.
Now that the district was approved, work on the TIF plan can begin.
Everyone is benefiting from the development that occurs in these areas. It's a short-term loss for long-term gain.
The City of T does not have a timeline for the implementation of this plan, but they do plan on using some of the funds to help with rising infrastructure costs. In T, Parker Brown, Dakota News Now.